All right, guys, welcome back to the after show. Thank you very much for sticking around, and thank you so much for being a part of this conversation.
Well, and thank you for joining our Big Apple School community, I guess.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
We were talking about time management.
Yes.
How do you manage the time to study languages?
Oh, the languages. Well, my thing, and what I try to stick to is, even if you don't feel like doing anything today, just do something. For example, sometimes I can devote, let's say, an hour of my time, but I need to do something daily. If I feel like, oh no, I'm too tired, 5 minutes on Duolingo, or open a magazine and just look at the words, random words over there. Something's going to stick in your brain. But I think the key is consistency.
Yeah.
Don't try to, overdo yourself and spend 1 hour every day, 7 days a week on learning language. No, you're going to get demotivated very fast.
Oh, definitely.
Even if you can do 5 minutes, that's greater than nothing. So stick to that.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, it is a question of time. The more hours you have with the language,
The quicker you'll progress, of course, yeah.
But if you don't feel like doing something, again, maybe you can just open the book, just read a text. Maybe I do it with German sometimes, and
Oh, you're doing German?
just a little bit.
When did you start doing German?
Oh God, like 7 years ago,
Yeah.
probably. But again, I can, especially before, I used to study one day, like the whole day, 8 hours of German, like reading, grammar, verbs and stuff like that. But then I didn't do anything for like 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, so I think this is not the way, sure.
Yeah, but I enjoyed every second of this, 8 or 10 hours.
For sure, but then you just kind of don't want to.
Exactly. But again, I did it as long as I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had a previous podcast where you both were here and we discussed your experiences at university.
All right.
It was a long time ago,
It
actually.
was.
And where you had a lot of class time
yeah.
with your teachers, didn't you?
Of
course.
course, but that was, university time, so
Yeah.
you didn't really have a choice.
Exactly.
Yeah, but how many hours a day with your language did you have?
10 to 12.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, around that.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of time.
But I had 2 languages.
Well, Natalie had 2 languages, so you kind of had to switch between
Yeah,
the
it was-
English and French. But I was only learning English. So that's why for me it was like 10 to 12 hours of one language every day. You had no choice but to learn, So yeah.
And after classes, we used to, speak the language with the girls.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and a lot of people who come to the Big Apple School or who are learning any language will think, oh, how am I going to get this time in my day? And I'd say, if you want to learn a language, it's a big, big choice to make.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of time.
And if you want to learn it to a high level, you need to find the time. There's no ifs, no buts. You need to get in thousands of hours with the language.
I have a question to you guys. So you are studying Russian at the moment, both of you. So what do you do on a daily basis, let's say, or how often do you do things?
Yeah. So for me, I have a principle of 20 minutes per day at least. Like I learn and practice, and also something extra. When I work outside, I try to look to what is written, outside and try to say it and
That's
verify
much
it later.
easier
Yes,
because you
yes.
live here.
Yeah,
So-
it's-
I was just going to say, because we live in the country, that's already a huge advantage. Whereas a lot of
course.
people
Yeah.
coming to our school, the Big Apple School, will be in Russia or maybe in another Russian-speaking country, most likely, and they don't have this opportunity.
Well-
Whereas I would say you need to immerse yourself in some kind of environment. Like you guys were, I guess you could say you were immersed in
Oh,
your
yeah, yeah,
languages.
yeah.
But then, we live in the age of technology. It's very easy to get
Exactly.
exposed to the language
Especially
more often than it
English.
used to. Yeah.
Yes, English
sure.
has so much there's so much interesting English language material on the internet that there's almost no excuse not to, because there's so many funny, hilarious, interesting documentaries on YouTube. YouTube is your best friend if
Yeah,
you're learning.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even scrolling, through Instagram feed and something like that, if you subscribe to bloggers or somebody who speaks the language, it's going to be so easy, picking up some words or phrases.
Yeah.
without even noticing. So,
Yeah. So what would I say? How to manage your time? I would say before you even think about managing your time, think about your motivation, because motivation is the bedrock of learning a language. You can be motivated by a range of things. It does not matter what motivates you. You just need to make sure you're motivated before you commit to making a schedule for your language.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get demotivated and you're going to hate the language.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys mentioned two very important things like consistency and motivation. They are really key words that we can use in our daily life on daily basis. If we really follow these two words and practice them in real life, their English, like students of English, they will be like very, very. They will be much better. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I think maybe a better word, because motivation. When I think of the word motivation, I think of discipline and being.
No, it could be
more
any
about
samurai
desire.
Yeah, it's more about something that's driving you.
Yeah.
Be that, for example, when people start learning English and you ask them, okay, why do you want to do that? Of course, there are people who say like, oh, just for myself. Like, no, but what do you want to do in English? They're like, well, I actually want to watch my favorite TV shows with no translation. See, this is your motivation. Some people want to move. Some people want to get to university. This is going to be their motivation. The love for the language, why not? This can be a motivation.
Yeah, exactly. Not everyone has just a random love for the language. I love Russian, which is, I
love German.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's such a cool sounding language. I do understand your love for German, but not everyone has that like random love. We're all language teachers, so we are kind of in a different world. Most people don't really care about grammar rules and don't care about... So you need to find a reason. Some people want to get married to someone. Some people want to find a really cool job in a better country.
Yeah, of course.
You have to make that at the forefront of your language learning experience. And then managing the time to do it becomes easy. I mean, think about your hobbies. Like you will always find time to I don't know, play Candy Crush on your phone or something like that.
I used to play that.
Feel attacked.
Oh God, yeah.
I never did, but a lot of people I know love Candy Crush.
Yeah, when I was like 16 or something like that. Yeah, I used to do that a lot.
So
oh God.
For those of you who love Candy Crush or who love to play video games, you know it's easy to find the time to play video games because you want to play them.
But you know what? Switch the game into English.
That's
Boom.
it. That's
You
exactly
play,
it.
you learn.
Yeah, and just to motivate our learners, I'm going to tell them one short story about a student of mine who was 10 years old in Turkey. He sounded like a native, really. And I asked him, how did you get to have this like level of English? Did you live outside in America because he had American accent? He said, no. Since I was a kid, I play video games in English.
Yeah,
I swear.
a lot of students
and
like that.
He uses like really, really professional stuff like idioms and everything. Like he really speaks like natives. So he learned by himself, like just by,
it's
stuff.
Also, it's easier for kids.
Yeah.
I have a student and she's like C1 probably, I would say. And she has an impeccable accent. She speaks really, really fast. Like sometimes I don't have, pause to correct some of her mistakes. I just sit there like that because she speaks nonstop. So maybe it's also not so good. Maybe it's because of some kind of, I don't know, doubts or because she's kind of insecure, something like that. But yeah, she speaks super fast.
How old is she?
15. Yeah, but she plays a lot of games on her phone again. She does a lot of things. Like she speaks a lot.
I think we shared the student, didn't we?
Ah, yeah.
Yes, we did.
Anna,
She has a really good level of English.
She's really good.
Really
Yeah,
good. And
yeah.
she played a lot of video games. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had a fun time actually. She was fun.
Yeah, she is fun. Yeah, I enjoy talking to her. But sometimes she's a bit over the top. I can say that.
I loved her. She was fun.
Yes, me too.
Maybe because I'm a bit
Getting
neurotic.
off the topic a little bit.
But she is too.
She was great, and
she's great.
always
Yeah,
has
I
the
agree.
time to learn English because
Exactly.
she immerses herself in the world of English.
Yeah, she wasn't specifically motivated about the language as, by itself, but as a tool, she really liked it, I would say.
Yeah. So it can be easy to find the time to learn a language. You don't have to necessarily have a schedule I would say if you really want to learn a language to like a high level, you need to be getting 3-4 hours a day with the language. I would say
3-4 hours?
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be grammar books. It doesn't, it just
a
means.
day?
Yeah.
Who the hell has the time?
I think it depends, like how fast you want to learn it.
Yeah. I'd say you need to do it. I spend about at least 3 or 4 hours of
You're
Russian
at
every day.
university.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It does not count. I mean, I was at university. I had no choice.
Oh, no, I'm talking about now.
Oh, now?
Now I have about 3 or 4 hours of Russian
3-4
every day.
hours?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I read a lot of Russian. I watch a lot of Russian. I have a wife. We always speak in Russian.
Yeah, I mean, everything counts. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you live in this country.
Yeah.
And
Well, having a Russian-speaking wife definitely,
Exactly.
you know,
You don't
adds
have
to
much
it.
choice.
Definitely
Yeah.
helps. Well, I'm
Of
giving
course.
myself a 5-year goal. So I've been here in Russia for almost 2 years. I'd say I'm
You've
somewhat.
got it.
I've
You've
got a good.
it.
I've got a good grasp of Russian, but I want to get to that C1 level.
You've
So what
got
is
it.
your level
that
now?
takes do you know? I can't really say for sure. Somewhere in the high Bs, I'd say maybe. What do you think? Like mid Bs, high Bs?
I'd
Don't
say you're on the
remember.
plateau right now.
Yeah,
so
at the
this
plateau.
B2, C1
Maybe.
range, this is the most difficult thing
It's a
to cross, the
marathon.
most difficult threshold to kind of step over.
Mhm.
And this is something we need to mention for our listeners. So if you are at a more beginner level, if you're at a beginner level in a language, like the A levels, maybe low B levels, you can kind of keep track of your time management in learning languages by using apps and textbooks, and you can see a syllabus. Whereas if you get to the higher Bs and towards the Cs, it's like a never-ending marathon. It's
Yep.
more just acquiring vocabulary.
That's why it's called the plateau.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
think about languages as reverse pyramid. So at the beginning, it's very narrow. So to get from A0 to A1, from A1 to A2, you don't need to overcome, much because it's very narrow. But the further you go, the broader the pyramid gets. So you have to spend years and years to get from that C1 to C2, for
Yes.
example.
And
From
this
C2
is
to
where
C1.
this is where
Yeah.
it gets difficult to manage the
Yep.
time. So you
Yep.
just have to put in the hours
Yeah.
and just expect that after thousands and thousands of hours, something will come of it. But
Yeah,
it's kind of like driving in the fog. You don't.
it's true.
But it's not the case for everybody, unfortunately, because some people are busy with work,
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Some
that's why
people
when you
only-
said 3 hours, I'm like, the what now?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a window of just like 15 minutes a day to be free to do something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say 3 hours, I don't mean grammar books
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Just
I mean
talking, just reading somewhere.
watching TV in
Yeah,
Russian and
Yeah.
stuff like that, or YouTube,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
or reading articles on the internet.
Yeah, fair
So,
enough.
yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anyway, you were saying in the podcast, Katya, that you have a special
Yeah.
method. I'm
Special
quite.
Well,
tips,
not
yeah.
the
Special hack.
method, yeah, but it's not my method. But have you guys ever heard about Maxim Dorofeev?
Nuh-uh.
No.
So this is a guy who in Russia is more of a, well, I don't want to say like time management guru, maybe. So he wrote a book which is called The Jedi Techniques, which really changed my world, my life, and everything. So some time ago, let's say like 5 years ago, I relied on my memory. I forgot hell of a lot of things. Like really, I forgot things. I confused the time of classes sometimes. So, even though I wrote it down on like pieces of paper,
Mhm.
but I was not consistent. So, and what he says in his book, I'm sorry, it's going to be a long monologue and I apologize for that in advance. But what he says is it's not the time that is important because we have the time. It's more about what he called the mind fuel. Because when we run out of this sort of mind fuel, of this energy, we become impulsive and we want to do simpler things. And he says, imagine it like that in your brain live two, let's say, controllers. So one is a responsible person who's in charge of making decisions and dealing with serious stuff, and a stupid monkey. And most of the time, it's the stupid monkey who does the things because it wants to do simpler things. So that's why when you have some sort of a decision, like to do some sort of a project or to go watch cat videos on Facebook, the monkey's like, cat videos on Facebook. Of course, because it's simpler. So what he says is you need to simplify your life in order to get more energy, to get more things done. What does that mean? That means be specific. So which means when you write, let's say, a goal, get to this level of language or learn language. no, this is not specific. You're going to look at it like, that's too big. I don't know. But let's say this day, listen to a song. That day, read 2 posts on Instagram, for example. Let's say I need to work, let's say on this project. Again, as I said, break it down into very doable steps. Something that will not take much time. You will find it easier to start. Let's say when I need to create some sort of big homework for my students on a special platform, I know it's going to take 2-3 hours. So that's why I make a plan, like write the plan for the homework, do section 1, do section 2, do section 3. By the time I'm done with the plan, I'm like, I can do section 1 now. By the time I'm done with that, I'm like, I can do section 2 now. So it's going to help. Then, is it okay that I'm talking so much?
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's very interesting.
So the
It's
second
relevant.
one
It's very
is keep to-do lists. So, because when you have to remember things, it's taking the power, the energy, because you always need to remember, like, okay, I have to call my sister. Let's say I need to do this. Oh, I promised to send my student homework. You always need to remember this until you do this. Put it down on paper, have, a diary, a schedule, a planner, so that you don't need to remember about it. You look at your to-do list, you remember about it. In the time that you don't look at it, you can do things that are important. The next one is clean your inbox, which means every day. So look at these lists every day, every week, and every month. Every day, just a couple of seconds. Are there any, urgent things I need to do today? No? Okay. Once a week, check the things for the week. Like, is there anything I didn't do? Okay. So more about delete things you've done. Clear your inbox, meaning like emails, planners, everything. Just, quick check. So something like that. And as I said, use some sort of external storage. So to-do lists, calendars. Don't try to remember things on your own, or don't try to find, let's say, one app for all the information in the world of everything. No, separate. If you want to keep list of, let's say, books you've read, make it one app. You want to keep track of something else, make it another app, so you don't confuse, so you separate things. So these are the key tips that he mentions in his books and that have actually changed my life and that I, kind of go by on a daily basis now.
Thanks for sharing.
Very nice.
Can you repeat the name?
Maxim Dorofeev, and the name of the book is Jedi Techniques.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Very good.
It has an English version, right?
Oh,
I'm not sure
I
it
don't think
does,
so.
but you might check it out. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Might be.
I wouldn't be
Might be.
surprised if.
Yeah.
He has some videos on YouTube, and YouTube now has, like auto translation and stuff. So, technology again helps us.
Yeah. You know what I enjoy about planning, especially on a piece of paper? When you cross out the tasks. It's
this
such
addition-
pleasure.
Satisfaction.
Seriously. Yeah.
I really agree with her because I had the same experience when you have like a to-do list on a piece of paper and when you do it, okay, I'm
Yes.
done.
Yeah. Feels so
Gives you
good.
that pleasure,
Do you guys keep to-do lists?
I do
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I really want to find a good, well, you said don't use one app, but I really want to find a good app that's,
But I mean, it's going to be
do
your
it.
app for to-do lists, but not for to-do list of books, list of things to read and everything.
well, I just have the notepad on my computer and I just write to do and tick it off.
I also think it could be a good tip. If you have an app, make it an app that could be both on your phone and on your computer
Yeah,
or
to
laptop.
synchronize.
So they're synced, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still prefer a piece of paper.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
I'm
I
more like
guess.
that.
Yeah.
And for those who are going to watch, some sort of backstage video or something, you probably would notice the stickers on my planner and everything. Because when I make a plan for the week, I'm like, okay, let's put some joy into this life. Stickers, 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 stickers.
Exactly.
I just use capital letters.
Ooh.
I'm an adult who loves stickers.
I used to use in different colors. So, for example, the title is green, then a little bit of red, blue,
that's
black.
Color coding.
Yeah, exactly.
So what can you do if it's a physical document? So you can use color coding.
Oh, I have color coding. I have the, not the sticky note for the note, although I do have that. I have sticky notes for some sort of notes. I have some sort of like bookmarks, but they're like sticky notes. So I put that. I am a nerd when it comes to time management, planning, and stationery. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah, we talked about this in the cleaning podcasts. Yeah.
So so that's why for me, like planning, it's a whole process. I have about 25 sheets with stickers I have about 30 different colors of, pens and everything. So that's me.
You have your own kingdom of time management.
In a way.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about situations in the podcast about kind of muck-up situations. So we talked about missing a flight.
Censorship.
Have we ever had any? Have we ever had any bad situations where time management led to a mess up?
Well, it was not really like a screw up situation if we are avoiding swearing, but more of I put 2 lessons on the same time. Well, it was more like my Spanish lesson and the lesson with my student. Just because I forgot about time difference being not 5 hours, but 4 hours. So in this case, I was like, okay, it's in my schedule. So I put it on this time. And then I see my student entering Zoom and I'm like, damn. I'm sending message like, hi, I'm sorry, I confused the time zone. Can we possibly start 1 hour later? He's like, yeah, sure. So I'm like, problem solved.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
that's
not
very
something
nice of him.
big.
For me, it happened to me around like 6 years ago. I remember it very clearly. We had like a teacher training and I was becoming a teacher. And I forgot the concept of time management in classroom. Yes, I totally like forgot. I was focusing on the subject to like, it was like a test for me to become a teacher in my country. And I couldn't like finish the lesson. And because of time management, I failed in that time.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So I had to redo the test just because of
wow.
time management. Yes.
Because like it took you too long to do some specific tasks, or
Like I didn't care about time. I was just like, like doing the subject was 6 years ago. So I was just like teaching the subject and they were observing me. Then they told me, okay, your time is up.
But
Your
you
time is up.
didn't.
And
But
you're
I
halfway
couldn't. Yeah,
through.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
couldn't explain the rest of the lesson, like the grammar topic and
Yeah, it's
everything.
easy to lose track.
So yeah.
Absolutely. We've all been there, done
Yeah,
that, but
yeah,
not
exactly.
in an exam though, So I can imagine how.
Yes.
Yeah, it
But
must
for
have
them, it was like
felt.
very serious concept, time management there. And even now, for us as teachers, time is really, really important.
Of course.
You have to
You have to
like,
plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially when you are goal-oriented person, I want to reach this like point at this level, okay, in this time. So you have to do it because time management for us, it's really of high importance.
Definitely.
For sure.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation and practice your English. Write a comment for us and share a story with us and we'll have a look at
please
your...
too. I'm always looking forward to some comments and I'm checking this chat and I'm like,
there is
any comments?
nobody. Yeah.
Please talk to me. I'm a chatty person, like really. I'm a chatterbox.
Well,
so
use this chat
just
to
start.
practice your writing skills
Yeah,
and
that's
just
a good
general
point.
English skills.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and just let me know. I can send you memes, guys. Just, just say it.
So let us know in the chat. We want to hear from you. And yeah, give us a like on our social media platforms. Check out our website, www.BigAppleSchool.com. Of course, like we always say, you can find our articles, videos, other podcasts. So check us out. And thank you very much for being a part of this whole conversation. So that's it for today, guys.
See ya.
See you. Thank you for
guys.
listening.
See you later.
Thank you.